We've actually looked at leadership for many, many years, and one of the biggest problems is that there's a lot of processes involved. You know, they're not very complex, but if they're not done, you can't get to relationships. So leaders are spending a huge amount, and in some cases all their time, actually managing simple processes. The problem with processes is that you have to actually learn them in the first place. So there's a lot of training required, and then because you're working with people, people need to know the processes as well, and they need to apply the processes. So the real problem is that you've got processes, they've got processes, there's lots of things that need to fit together, and it's really hard to make it happen. So you waste a lot of time in meetings, you waste a lot of time chasing people, finding out where they're up to, what they're doing, and reporting to people, whereas they are very, very simple processes, and that's where computers are really good. They can map all these processes, they can keep track of them, and it saves you wasting your time doing things that are not productive. And it's the old story. People say, I'm spending all my time telling you what I'm doing rather than getting on with the job. So what the leadership platform does is allows you to very clearly work out what everyone needs to do, allows them to get on with it, allows you to see what people are doing, where they're up to, and it saves you asking them all the time what's happening. And one of the really positive things that have come out of the leadership platform is that because when you talk to people, you already know what they're doing. So therefore, you don't have to interrogate them, you don't have to say, well, what are you doing now, where are you up to, etc. And people don't get defensive. You can go down in a really positive way and say, well done, team, you're doing this has been done. We've got a bit of a problem here, how can we fix it? And we can focus on fixing the problems, and you're part of the team, you're actually working with them, rather than being someone separate who is actually looking at this, the overseer sort of type approach. And relationships are all about working together, and that's what the leadership platform does. It does all the hard work in the background so you can focus on building relationships and obviously succeeding in what you're doing. The things that underpin the platform are, first of all, planning. If you haven't got a plan, it is really, really hard to lead because you don't know where you're going and other people don't know where you're going, and things keep changing all the time. So what we found was that a very simple planning method is absolutely critical. What we developed was a one-page planning template, and we validated that in the workplace, and now that planning template is used in over 175 countries by thousands of people to do very simple planning fast. So we know it works. So the next step was to take what people need to do and make it easy to manage all the actions so that those plans can be implemented. And one of the challenges of a normal plan is that as things change, the plan gets out of date and there's a lot of work keeping it up to date. Well, what we do, because we do it in software, once the plan is put in, which is very easy to do, it can be updated on the fly. So every time someone does something, it changes the plan, and that's really what a plan needs to be, up to date all the time. It's a living document, and what TASKey team does is makes it very easy for you to do that. And so you're clear about what needs to be done, and all your team members are also clear about what needs to be done, and even other stakeholders like your boss and other people around you, if they want to know what you're doing, you can basically show them a very simple plan on a page and say, look, this is what we're doing. So it keeps everyone informed and makes it very easy to be successful. The planning template has three major components. The first part is the vision and situation. You need to know what the task is you're doing, what the goal is, any assumptions that are going to affect the plan, and also you need to know what the objectives are. So what do I need to do? So you're painting a picture of what's required in the plan. So that's the first part of the plan. The second part of the plan is basically a list of actions of the things that need to be done. Now, this gives you in effect a workflow. It needs to be very flexible, and you need to be able to see what it is. And if you think about how people work now, when they want to do a plan, they usually sit around a whiteboard or some similar tool and list the things that they need to do. Well, with TASKey Team, you do exactly the same thing. You just put a list of the things that you're going to do. The advantage with TASKey Team, with the plan, is that it updates all the to-do lists and does all the rest of the work. So the third part of the plan are the people involved, who's responsible, who needs to know about the plan. So who are the other stakeholders, you know, like your boss and other people you're working with and people in the teams. And then the final part of it is resources. So people and resources need to be managed so that you know where it is. So the plan has three simple components: the situation and the vision, where you need to go, what you need to do, so the actions required, and the third part is the people and the resources that are needed to achieve your vision. So that's basically the three components of the planning template.